Oh.
All right. Hey, Kevin.
Hello, how are you?
Good. So, tell me about you.
My name's Kevin Brooks. I'm ex-coal miner. I grew up Southwest Virginia, right next to West Virginia. And I 43. I don't know what
What do you do? What are your
think
hobbies?
used to be fishing and basketball, but being an amputee kind of slowed that down, but
Yeah.
I getting back to that now. I got a robot leg, so life's going good.
Yeah. You a music guy at all?
Oh, that's
Nice.
passion.
Right on.
Drive-by truckers, I'm going to see them. Like, you like the drive-by truck? You ever heard of them?
Uh-uh.
Drive-by truckers?
Nope.
Huh.
I'll look
Uh,
them up though.
Good
Yep.
music. If you like good music.
I do. Yeah, I'm all over the place too. Every genre, every
Yeah,
era.
that's
Yeah. Grew up with Southern rock. Sammy Hagar, even back to the Montrose days.
oh Lord,
Yeah.
classic rock.
Yep.
They're more there's modern Southern rock, but it's like with political spin. Not political, but it's got a meaning behind
That's cool.
it.
A
Yeah.
lot of it does. Just people don't really realize what the
If you're
lyrics
willing
mean.
to hear it, yeah.
Yep. Yep. Right on, man. So, let's just get right into the philosophical stuff. So, like,
All right.
what do you do to like feed your soul? Like, what's the thing that just makes you feel whole and complete? And
Music.
yeah,
That's my. If I'm down, I can find a song that makes me feel better, or if it's I'm up and I'm wanting to go out and do something. There's music is always there to I can relate to, and for any moment in my life. So music is what I like.
yeah,
I
it's
don't know.
awesome you mentioned that. Anytime when I've had just some, hit a rut, downtime, and it's like I just try to find something I love, one song that you just throw on repeat.
Yeah.
And then you find another song, usually on the same album, and then
Uh-huh.
eventually you're listening to the whole album.
On repeat for
Yeah,
uh, 2 or 3 times till when it hits you right. Good song or good music. I don't know. It speaks to your soul to me. It's therapeutic. That's like my uh, religious church thing. I don't go to church, but I like a good song. Put me in the right place and times.
yeah. So, have you had any people in your life, family, friends, whomever, that have been just really influential and inspiring to you?
Oh yeah, yes. I mean, many. You
Many?
know, I was my father died when I was young too. Really, I mean, he was in my life, but I don't remember it. But I had a really strong mother. She was a widow of a 7-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 2-year-old at 24.
Oh,
And I think I'm pretty tough, but that's we all none of us went to prison. We all went to school, graduated, and done stuff. So she's a pretty good role model, and she had empathy and compassion, and she had a little redneck in her, but she was still um, she had to have the role model. I mean, that's my North Star. If I had to pick a person or a role model, it would have to be my mom.
yeah. What are the things that she was always a broken record about? Don't do this. Make sure you do this. She have any stuff that she really tried to instill in you?
Well, she was big in empathy, compassion, like not to critique other people, judgment. Like, which one does the world need? More criticism or more compassion? And so that's kind of she was an old hippie, I guess, from the 60s, 70s. That's her mindset. But it that she had other philosophies, but that's the one that I took and carrying forward. I mean, she was it's hard to describe in one soundbite.
Yeah. So if she was kind of into the hippies '60s thing. Was she a music lover too?
Oh yes, that's where. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I can hear songs like. She named her dog after a musician, Bob Seger, and his name is
Yep.
Seger.
Yeah.
And she was. I mean, she was big in the '90s when grunge. I was in high school and that stuff's going on. She would still listen, and music was her. I guess that's where I got my passion for music was from her
Yeah.
because she was big into that.
So she was into grunge.
Yeah,
So
she
Pearl
liked the
Jam.
music. I mean,
She had to be
well,
into
I
Pearl
mean, she
Jam.
liked Alive. I'm still
Yep.
alive, and Black, and there's different things.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird that you're in your teens and your mom's in her 30s, and you're going, "Hey, mom, you shouldn't don't like my music." It's like this is my space.
Sharing albums.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, I think I
her
saw
CDs.
something about Black wasn't released, and the band really didn't want it to get as big as it did. But it's such an
Yeah,
incredible song that yeah,
how can
anybody
you
that had the
deny?
album found it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Well, I'm trying to think of some other songs that like, well, in the '90s, man. It
Um.
was like music changed, like from the '80s
Oh
to the
yeah.
'90s. It
Oh
was
yeah.
big. Went from being partying at time there was.
Well, I mean, the '90s was almost like it was demonstrating against the '80s because the '80s was
Yes,
all about synth, and it's like I
it
know
is.
this isn't popular, but I'm not a big '80s person. I mean, there's some bands like Heart. I've
Yeah.
loved it. I love Heart. Period. I think they're incredible. Nancy Wilson, guitar player.
Uh,
Ann Wilson, vocals are
and
just incredible. So
both
like,
awesome.
there's a few, but like way too many synthesizers for me. And it's like I
Yeah,
just
and Poison, Cherry Bop. Yeah,
yeah.
I could do without that in my life, but
Yeah, there's probably
each their own.
some story about how it was just like took 5 minutes to write that song or something
You
like
can
that.
tell.
Yeah, but no, yeah. I mean, '90s
Well,
music. Yeah, Pearl Jam came out. I mean, we were super. I'm up in the Northwest, and we were super lucky because we had Pearl Jam
oh
locally. We had
yeah,
Nirvana locally.
humble brag.
Yeah, a little bit, a little bit. I mean, I was. I mean, I'm about your age, so it's like I wasn't quite cued in to how incredible it was and how pivotal and how just much of a change it was.
Mm,
But
sure.
I mean, I get it now. I
Yes.
remember enough now where it's like, yeah, that was pretty cool.
That's like around here. It's I'm from a very rural area in Appalachian Mountains, but like everybody portrays us as Fox News loving. You look like Tyler Childers and Chris Stapleton. They're an hour away, but they're progressive like '90s band. Like Pearl Jam and Soundgarden. That, but it's country music. I don't know how to tie the two together, but it's good to see that you're not alone.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I mean, Soundgarden to me is a lot different than Pearl Jam and Nirvana, so to speak. But like, I spent a lot of time in the gym, and we would listen to things like Soundgarden,
Yeah.
Temple of the Dog, and it's like it's
Mhm.
kind of like that, like a modern rock. I don't know if I would call it. It's not a hard rock, but it's like they were kind of like
They were
Metallica-ish, but not Metallica. I mean, they're not Metallica.
they're on their own category. They're not
Yeah,
Metallica.
yeah. So I mean, we had a radio station here that would kind of play like alternative stuff and play some of that harder stuff, and it's like I love that stuff in the gym. So
It'll work out. Gyms are bad for you.
well nowadays, yeah. All right. What else is there to talk about? What stuff
Um,
means the most to you? What's going on in your life that just means the most to you?
right now, the thing that means the most to me
You're in
is
school and stuff, right?
back to college. It's
Nice.
43.
Hey, new
I've been
skills.
a couple of times before and never finished, but I'm trying to go back to get back into working and doing things. Never too old to learn. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Where are you studying?
But electrical electronics, trying to go back into electrical engineering, or my mining
Awesome.
background. I was an electrician, so trying to do that, but going back to school like 25 years after you graduated, trying to remember calculus. It's like
Oh
I remember taking
man,
that class in the '90s, but I don't remember them formulas. But
I avoided calculus. I took like stats, and I took trig, and I did that stuff. But as soon as I had a major that I found out I had to take calculus, I derailed and picked a different
Yeah.
major.
Let's go to something else.
Yeah,
Math is hard.
it is. Yeah. Electronics, though, is amazing. Like, what a great field.
I think it's the future. I mean,
Absolutely.
going from the
That's
coal
what I'm
mining
thinking.
to the electronics.
Yeah.
The past to the future.
Is there like a career path? I know like mechanics are desperately needed right now. Does that get you into like potentially a track of like electric vehicle mechanics?
I don't know. I mean, once you get the electronics degree and then you try to go to the engineering, my background is in maintenance, so I don't know what it'll entail once I get there, what the future will hold, but
Yeah.
I'm wanting to do into maintenance, whether it's, electric vehicles, green energy and stuff. That's where my hope is to go, because I think that's the future.
Yeah, that's a great field.
And
Yeah.
it's growing, every car's going to be electric in 15 years, 20, So,
I actually just saw something. So there's an investment company called Ark Invest, and they just came out and started talking about, all the supply chain issues and the parking lots or the parking lots, but like car dealer lots are empty and they need to get the vehicles made. And one of the points that they made, and these guys handle like billions of dollars of investments, but one of the points they made that was, these old school auto manufacturers might spend 90% of their new output on gasoline vehicles. And she basically made the point that it looks like the new purchases are going to electric vehicles.
EVs.
Yep. So they might go 95 and 5 and have a whole lot of vehicles just sitting on the lot because the demand is switching over to at least hybrid, if not electric.
People are not willing to change and accept change. You're going to get left behind, and I think that the automotive industry is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I think the power grid doesn't want to accept renewable energies, and there's different things, but I think the future is going to change quicker than people are ready for it to. I think that things are moving faster than people are willing to accept it.
Yeah, especially with what's happened in the last couple years. I know with like work from home technology, that has just, what would have taken 10 years took like 6 months. So yeah, we've seen huge changes, changes in travel patterns, and people are buying some more rural houses instead of urban. We'll see how that pattern kind of changes. So it's interesting.
Rural guy, and you got to go to the urban areas. To do anything, right? If you want to go shopping or do anything, you don't want to drive an hour.
Yeah.
It's old. So I think the urban areas will still do all right, but we'll see.
Yeah. Okay, so more philosophy. So,
Yes.
when you were younger, did you not really value or kind of understand as much as you value now that you're older?
My education.
Yeah.
I wish I would have took it a lot more serious. High school, I had some pretty girls in my classes, so I was distracted. But when I was getting started working, I wish I'd have paid more attention in math classes and other classes, things that would help me make money. Because looking at pretty girls in high school didn't help me make no money.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Sorry, I had a redneck answer there, but
I don't think that that's a redneck answer. I think that's a young man answer. I think that's 100% legit, man.
that's all right.
So more philosophy. Where do you find strength from? I know you mentioned that your mom is an incredible influence on you. Where else do you find strength? Like going back to school and the stuff you've handled in your life. Like, where do you pull your strength from?
And it'd still be my mom. That was my hero, my role model, and I wish I was half as smart and as strong as she was. But I've got other people that I draw strength from, like my daughter. Look at her trying to leave the world a better place than way I found it and things like that. But I don't look to her as like a role model, but like for strength, inspiration to do better today than I was yesterday, be a better person. Be my daughter and
Yeah.
Kids will do that.
Yeah. Huh. So, is she kind of the person that sort of changed you? Do you feel like there was a point in your life where maybe you would have gone one direction and then maybe she helped kind of bring you back, or maybe kept you on the right road to begin with?
Who's that? My daughter
Your
or my
mom.
mother?
Your mom.
Oh yeah, and my mother. She put me back on the right track more than once. Uh, she was strong-willed and raising two boys. I couldn't imagine the stuff she went through. I mean, I feel bad. You get older, you look back and regret, but she was always kept me on the right track. She had my best interest at heart, even then when I didn't accept that.
Yeah.
I thought you're just being mean. But you get older, you're like, she really did, had my best interest at heart. And the way she wasn't authoritarian, she would let you speak your opinion and tell you why you was wrong. And that was very important. If you don't tell me I'm wrong, show me why I'm wrong. Explain to me why this is wrong or why I shouldn't be doing that. And I think that made me think a lot more about it, rather than just grounding me. Well, this is why you're wrong. This da-da-da. I'm not a lawyer. I can argue with you, but I will take this up with you in 10 years.
Yeah, it's hard to argue with somebody that just lays out the reasoning and the cause and effect and gives you choices. Like, that's hard to argue with.
Reason is undefeated.
Yep.
Good reason.
Yeah. Let's see. So, does she have any stories that she's told you about her life and about things that she's done that have stuck with you? Is there like one story you kind of remember?
That she didn't want me. I wasn't planned, and I was the reason her tubes died. But,
whoa.
Yeah, I got an Irish twin brother who was born like 11 months before me.
Gotcha.
She's like, we wasn't playing, but we wouldn't have no more. Thank God you're here. Well, she said I was a 10-pound baby. She's like, I had an 8-pound baby, a 9-pound baby, 10-pound baby. I wouldn't have no 11-pound baby. So I don't know if it was me, the sigh. She decided it wasn't no more kids. That's what she always used to joke with us,
Yeah.
family.
That's awesome. So you got in just under the wire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Barely.
Yeah. So what do you think, in your experience, what do you think the best habit someone can have is? Or habits?
I like habit. I mean,
things you
listening.
Things you do all the time, things that you just know is the right thing to do, even if it's not the easy thing. Like, what are the things in your life that you just have prioritized?
I mean, I don't know. Habit. Prioritize. Just listening. I mean, don't get argumentative. I don't know if it's a habit.
I think it is.
That's what you're looking.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Just listening rather than trying to debate the subject. Listen to the other person's point of view and see where they're coming from. They can speak into compassion and empathy, but don't try to know it all.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know somebody else's life experience. You don't know what's going on. You don't know where their background, what's happening then. And just listening and trying to be receptive to other people's ideas, not be so closed up or closed-minded.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're not willing to learn, I don't know, everybody should be willing to learn.
Yeah.
I don't see why anybody wouldn't, but some people are not willing to learn.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. Yep. All right. So tell me about the book you picked.
Larry Brown.
Yeah.
Rabbit Factory. That's a good one.
Yeah.
And Southern. He's from Mississippi, a little more south than me, but it's right from a Southern point of view, but he shows empathy and compassion and the serendipity of life, how close you come to missing things, and like it's just a good book.
Awesome.
I
Yeah, I actually
recommend it.
looked it up. I didn't grab it yet. I'll probably read it this weekend, but I did actually look it up.
And it's like Joe Exotic before Joe Exotic was somebody. There's a one-legged lady in there. There's people feeding animals. It's got a lot of. I think Joe Exotic stole the thunder, like model's life after that book. But it's very good, and it's wrote from a not a condescending point of view. The Southern. I mean, there's some very messed up people, but it's a lot of. It's wrote from the way he writes it. It's very eloquent and it's not condescending. Used to Southern people, it's got you're a redneck and you're burning crosses and all that, and it's right from a compassionate point of view. There's some messed up characters, but there's still some lovable qualities to them.
Nice. All right. Well, thank you, man, for joining me on this.
Thank you for having me. I hope it does well.
Yeah, me too.